Wanting something hits harder than actually having it. Like, the excitement doesn't start when you buy the thing, it starts way before that. It's that moment when you spot something and your brain instantly goes, oh yeah, that's gonna fix my whole life. A new phone, some fancy sneakers, a trip you absolutely can't afford, or a kitchen gadget with no more buttons than a spaceship. It doesn't matter. Your mind launches into full-on daydream mode. Imagine me using this. I'm gonna be unstoppable. Spoiler, you won't. But your brain isn't interested in truth. It just wants its dopamine hit right now. Because the real high isn't the thing itself. It's the almost. It's filling up an online cart you might never check out. It's watching product reviews at 2 a.m. It's imagining your future self living a life that looks suspiciously like an Instagram ad. Desire is a hustler. It whispers that paradise in just one confirmed payment away. And you click it, feel like a god for maybe 5 minutes, and then boom, back to being a regular human with bills. There is biology behind this mess. Dopamine doesn't show up when you get the reward. It spikes when you expect it. It's anticipation. Like when someone you are into takes 3 hours to reply and your brain builds an entire romantic timeline in the meantime. Then they finally text back LOL and the whole fantasy collapses. And marketing. Oh, marketing thrives on this. Every ad is basically saying, trust me, this next thing will fix everything. The new laptop will make you productive. The trendy jacket will make you irresistible. That premium running shoe will turn you into an athlete, even though the closest you get to cardio is opening the fridge. But we fall for it because desire doesn't need logic. It just needs to feel good. And here's the twisted part. We even feel guilty for wanting stuff. I shouldn't buy this. And guess what? That guilt makes the wanting even stronger. Tell a brain no, and it becomes a toddler screaming for candy. Suddenly the forbidden things becomes ridiculously attractive. That's the real magic of storefronts and ads. They are not selling products, they are selling promises. The promise that your life will be smoother, sexier, happier, more put together. And while you chase that promise, you keep running after things you don't even truly want. Because deep down, what you're addicted to isn't the object. It's that little spark of, it's almost mine. And the moment it actually becomes yours, gone. Game over. You are already craving the next shiny possibility. Purchase complete. Next craving loading. So let's talk about the part nobody likes to admit. The post-purchase dead zone. You know the drill. You hit buy now. Wait a couple days, the package lands at your door, and suddenly you are a kid on Christmas and a responsible adult at the same time. You unbox it, poke it, sniff it for some reason, try it out, and for like 10 minutes you feel unstoppable. And then silence. That awkward emotional flatline. It's like that moment after a hookup when you realize, oh, this wasn't love. This was just chemistry doing parkour. Welcome to the capitalist cool-down period, the tiny existential hangover that hits right after you finally get what you wanted. Because here's the truth. Having something is way less electrifying than wanting it. That new laptop you tracked obsessively, 3 days later it's just the thing keep your coffee mug company. Those shoes you swore would change the vibe, now they are sitting in a corner with the soul of a wet sponge. That bag that screamed sophistication, turns out it's just a letter with a logo and a superiority complex. Everything that felt magical turns into background noise. Everything that felt like a dream becomes an object. And then comes the mental glitch. Wait, why am I not happier? Wasn't this supposed to fix something? Yeah, you wanted it. But the system you live in doesn't want you satisfied. A satisfied person stops buying, and capitalism has absolutely no idea what to do with someone who isn't craving something. So you start inventing new needs. You go from this TV is insane to maybe I should get better speakers, then to actually I need a more aesthetic shelf for the setup. And suddenly you are rearranging your life like you are auditioning for an IKEA commercial. Before you know it, you are sprinting on an emotional hamster wheel, chasing the next micro hit of pleasure and wondering why everything you own gets boring so fast. And the cruelest part, the guilt. You look at all your stuff and think, I should be grateful, right? But you are not, because boredom sells. Boredom is the marketplace's favorite tool. The hole it digs in you just so it can sell you the shovel. So yeah, you bought the thing, but now you face the uncomfortable truth. Owning the object doesn't fill the space that wanting it promised. It just pushes the emptiness a little further down the road, and the cycle restarts, neatly boxed, beautifully packaged, free shipping included. Look around your room for a second, or at whatever shows up behind you on video calls. What's sitting there on display? Probably books you swore you'd read someday. Poster with a quote that sounded deep when you bought it, but now you barely remember the meaning. Little trophies of a personality you may or may not actually have. None of that is just decoration. It's quite advertising. Silent announcement, hey, this is who I am, or, well, who I would like you to think I am. Because we don't need to buy objects, we buy characters to play. The person who buys a sleek laptop wants to feel like the creative genius in a cafe. The one who gets the fancy blender wants to look up like a meal prepping adult with their life together. The guy who spends half a paycheck on a football jersey wants to feel like part of a tribe, even if he gets out of breath waking up the stairs. Owning things become a performance. We outsource our identity to items, as if experiences were optional and props were enough. Every purchase becomes a costume piece. The intellectual, the traveler, the old school gamer, the clean aesthetic person, like we are building a custom avatar for a game we don't fully understand. And the problem? When your identity is built on objects, it needs constant updating. The shelf is never full enough. There's always room for another book you won't open, another vinyl you will never play, another gadget you will love for a week. If someone takes the thing away, or if it breaks, gets outdated, loses status, you panic. It feels like someone yanked out a piece of who you are. Lose your car? Identity crisis. Phone stolen? Feels like soul loss. Smartwatch battery dies? Suddenly you are a confused caveman with no idea what time it is. Here's the irony. The more stuff you collect to define yourself, the less room there is to actually be yourself. Your identity becomes a storage unit, cluttered, noisy, constantly rearranged, and underneath all that accumulation, a giant fear of looking inward and realizing you are not sure who you are without your belongings to narrate it for you. That's the full shelf syndrome, the modern flavor of I have everything, yet something's missing, and what's missing is you, not the curated version, not the aesthetic you are paying in installments, but the real person, the one who doesn't need to prove anything with objects because they are too busy living. Capitalism, of course, loves when you confuse having with being, because as long as you believe the next purchase will make you more interesting, it can guarantee one thing: you will never stop buying. But there was a time when the world worshipped more. More clothes, more gadgets, more stuff to stack on top of other stuff. Then suddenly the energy flipped and a new gospel took over. Less is more. At least that's what the internet kept chanting. But let's be real. For a lot of people, minimalism became nothing more than a cute bandage slapped over the same old existential wound. Before, you tried to feel like someone by peeling objects on every surface. Now you try to feel like someone by throwing them all out. Same insecurity, different aesthetic. Only now it comes with beige tones, soft lighting, and an Instagram caption in elegant cursive. Minimalism actually started as a legit reaction to a world drowning in clutter, a world where buying things felt like a competitive sport. But like every trend this anxious society touches, it got hijacked fast. In no time, it turned it into a product, a look, a Netflix-friendly lifestyle with slow piano music and a living room so empty it echoes. And that's where guilt marketing walks in, because companies figure it out the next angle. If you want to keep selling to people, make them feel ashamed for owning too much. You bought 30 books and read none? Shame on you. Your full shelf isn't a sign of passion, it's a symbol of your inauthentic self. Poor you, smothered by your own purchases. So now they sell you storage boxes, decluttering methods, productivity apps, coaching sessions on how to have less. The irony, you are consuming to stop consuming, paying money to own fewer things. Minimalism quiet become a luxury badge. That clean aesthetic with neutral outfits, designer furniture, and a spotless white wall, not exactly accessible. It's like saying, look how spiritually free I am, while holding a $2,000 phone with only 3 apps installed. It's a new kind of performance. Not look at everything I own, but look at how evolved I am for not needing anything, except, well, that nothing costs a whole lot. Sure, some people take minimalism seriously and genuinely improves their lives by simplifying, and props to them. But for most, this whole decluttering crusade is just another attempt to feel in control, because they drowned so much in stuff that now they are trying to breathe by having less. But notice, they are still not facing the actual problem. It was never about how much you have or how much you get rid of. It's about why you feel like you need either one to feel whole. The boredom, the restlessness, the quiet ache inside, those don't disappear when you toss out your belongings. If anything, they echo louder in an empty room. So before you jump on your next own last train, ask yourself, is this about freedom? When owning turns into a cage, you know that moment when I deserve this slowly morphs into what have I done? Yeah, that's when owning stuff stops being fun and starts becoming full-time sentence. At first, it all feels innocent. You work hard, you're tired, you have survived another week of chaos. So why not reward yourself, right? A giant TV, a new phone, couch that looks like it belongs in a billionaire's penthouse, whatever. It feels like freedom until it doesn't, because 5 minutes later your credit card melts. Your bank app starts vibrate in panic mode, and suddenly you are negotiating interest rates like you owe money to a movie villain. Congratulations, welcome to the ownership jail. Here's how the trap works. What starts as a treat quietly becomes a monthly payment. The payment becomes a bill. The bill becomes stress. And before you even notice, you are waking up every day just to work for things that don't even excite you anymore. You are basically a part-time employee of your own debt, and not even a well-paid one. That's the magic trick of our economy. It hands you freedom of choice with one hand, while the other slips a little invisible collar around your neck called interest. You can have anything, as long as you are willing to trade a chunk of your future for it. 12-month installment plan? Congrats, you just sold a year of your life to something that will look outdated before you are even done paying for it. And the worst part, you get used to it. You start juggling payments like a circus act. Pay the credit card with a loan, the loan with your holiday bonus, the bonus with your tax refund. Nothing ever gets solved. It just gets postponed. And all this effort just to keep the illusion that you are doing well, when deep down you are sinking, but aesthetically. And it's not just the money. Owning things that also trap you emotionally. You buy a car. Now you are married to insurance, repairs, parking fees, and the fear of scratching it. You buy a house. Now you are locked into decades of interest. Even fancy clothes become a burden because you are waiting for the right moment to wear them. You think you are buying freedom, but you are actually buying responsibility, anxiety, and brand new fear, the fear of losing what you have. The more you own, the more there is to lose. And when your possessions start possessing you, every little threat feels personal. That's perfect for the system. Because as long as you are busy maintaining, fixing, paying, and protecting what you bought, you never stop to question whether you even needed it in the first place. So yeah, having things can be amazing, but if the cost is your sleep, your paycheck, your time, and your peace, then it's worth asking, who's actually running your life? You or your stuff? So why not wanting what you already have? Sounds simple, right? Yeah, until you realize the modern world basically runs on your inability to appreciate anything for more than 5 minutes. The whole system is built to grind your sense of gratitude into dust. It convinces you that new is automatically better, that what's next matters more than what's now. So you end up surrounded by stuff you once dreamed about, but now They are just backgrounding noise collecting dust while you chase the next shiny thing you saw on TikTok. You look at your phone and see an outdated model. You look at your partner and notice only flaws. You look at your own body and see everything missing. The crazy part, everything you currently have at some point was something you desperately wanted, but your brain, addicted to novelty like a lab rat, hooked on pure dopamine, throws everything into a mental trash being labeled already mine. Breaking this cycle isn't about becoming a monk or deleting every app you own. It's about psychological self-defense, choosing not to spend your entire life chasing more, when enough is already sitting right in front of you, waving. And here's the good news. You can relearn this art, but it takes effort, because swimming against the tidal wave of marketing feels like some kind of Zen CrossFit. It's not talking about retreating to a cabin in the woods. I'm talking about small, almost stupidly simple acts, like replaying that old playlist from 2010 and realizing it still hits. It's like treating what you already own like it's brand new, not out of obligation, but because you choose to see value in it. This isn't settling for less. It's finally noticing how much you already have. It's not about becoming a minimalist guru with a white-walled apartment and one plant. It's about being smart enough to not be enslaved by the next product, promising happiness in 10 easy installments. But here's the twist. The freedom everyone is chasing might already be sitting quietly in one place we ignore the most, the present moment, the things we already call ours. Maybe the answer isn't wanting more. Maybe it's learning to want better.